Once again, we are back on Ekman Soch ki ttalk train of thought with a series of an episode with Professor Brigadier GPS Cheema from Indian Army. It's excellent insights of what we are having about his journey as far as his presence in the Indian Army which is concerned. So in our earlier episode, we have taken you were part of an selection at SSB Bangalore, so can you throw more light on that? What are how you have cracked that examination and how you went ahead further with getting into the armed forces?
Okay, first of all, what I had explained earlier, they gave us a pre-SSB training there in Officers Training School, NCC Officers Training School there at Kamti. So it was a replica of a service selection board which was created there, and they put us through those spaces that the similar kind of your individual obstacles, the group obstacles they were created, and every day, in fact number of times in a day that we had to do it, we knew how to master it, and we knew how to do an excellent job there. And then we had the GTOs, the group task officers. Now they were the group testing officers. Now the group testing officers were people who were guiding us that how to be a part of a team, how to act like a good team member, and how to be a person who would lead the team in a very constructive way. And then also there were psychologists who would tell us that what is a positive psychology.
Oh, I see.
You can look at a situation in a positive way or in a negative way. If you look at a situation in a positive way, you will have much better solutions coming out of it. And if you look at a situation in a negative way, perhaps you will accept defeat even before attempting it.
Correct.
Right. And you may be very good at doing the individual tasks. You may be very good at doing your group tasks. But unless you have a positive psychology, you can't become a good leader.
Correct.
Right. So they are now built in such a way, they check your ability, physical ability, they check your ability that how you function with the team, and then they check your ability as a leader, that how would you respond to a situation.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And unless your response is positive and constructive, you really can't lead your team to achieving a given task.
Correct.
So that's what exactly how it is structured. And then the last part is, even if you've gone through it, then there is an interview by a panel. And you are sitting in the center, and all the guys are bombarding all the questions at you, and then they have their joint decision that okay, whether you are good, bad or ugly.
I see.
Right. And once they've gone to that, and then they will say, we'll check your medical.
Okay.
So then if they find you fit enough to join, but you may not be medically fit to join.
Yeah. Correct. So that is
So the basic things you should be able to see properly, hear properly, right? You shouldn't be flat-footed. You shouldn't be knock-knees. Your heart should be strong.
Correct.
So that physical things you can do. So all this put together. So you have to go through all these spaces. It's not we have a campus placement. So those team of people come from the corporate, talk to you for half an hour, round one, another round, and third round say, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Now here when you go for a services selection board, right from the time when you enter the building of the service selection board, you are being watched.
Okay. Each and every activities has been.
You are being watched. How you behave, how you interact, how you eat, how your makeup is, and how your persona is. So you are being watched.
I see.
Right. So it is a 4-day affair. Day and night you are being watched. And because it is a very serious affair, to say the least.
So what was going in your mind in that 4 days? Because it might be a tense situation also, to crack that and get into?
Of course, you are you have apprehensions, or at times self-doubt tends to creep in. But that is the time to maintain your focus. If you focus on the problems, you will become shaky.
Correct.
If you focus on the task, you will be having the resolve. Now, another thing is very important in life. It's very good to have a goal. By setting a goal, you can't achieve the goal.
Correct. You have to work towards that.
Your processes for achieving the goals have to be very, very strong.
Correct.
Because every step you take towards the goal has to be in the right direction.
Correct.
And the way it has to be. Like if I want to, win a World Cup for my team, and I'm in cricket, so every ball I look at, right?
Correct.
I should be able to strike it properly.
Correct.
Every ball I bowl, I should bowl in such a way the other person can't, strike a run. And every catch which is there, I should dive to get it.
Correct.
I should not miss it. But those are the processes. Unless your processes are strong, it's not possible to achieve your goals.
Correct.
Set your goals. Without setting your goals, you can't achieve it. But thereafter, you have to follow your processes very, very keenly and strongly. So similarly, when you are in a selection board, every step counts.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when the individual task was there were only 10 obstacles we had to cross in a given time frame. Right? And I said, everybody will do 10. So what's so great about it? I'm going to do as many. I did 13.
So I
had to do a bit extra than the rest. Right. So how do I do 13 in the same time? If I practice very hard and I know each obstacle will take how much time and where I'm going to score marks, because every obstacle has own marks. I have to score maximum marks there. Similarly, in a group task, I cannot think like an individual there. Like my individual obstacle course, I am an individual. But in a group task, I have to think like a team. Before I get across, my team must get across. Right? Because when you take responsibility of your team, when you start thinking like a team, you start creating solutions for the team. And it's not a question of creating solutions, it's a question of implementing those solutions. And it has to be done selflessly. The moment you say, no, I must get across, you are not a leader. You are not a team player. Nowadays, when you see in the corporate world, 60% of their focus is on teamwork and 40% on individual work. Now they are also learning that unless you are a good team member, you cannot be a good person for the organization. So similarly, so you have to do that. And then mental makeup. Our instructors there were army officers who were group testing officers who were training us. They would tell us that where we are making a mistake, where we are becoming little negative, and so we have to change your perception towards that. Right. Unless you change your perception, you will not look at the object in a positive way. Right.
So I think they nurture also, like while the training which was happening, like show the direction and everything.
Absolutely, because all those things are going to happen in a live situation once you are a commissioned officer. You are not going to be, handling set tasks. Every task is different, and there is no template for finding solutions to those whatever tasks or the challenges are. So unless you can think innovatively, unless you think positively, unless you are proactive, and unless you are self-assured, as a leader, unless you are self-assured, your team will not have faith in you.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the way. Like, that reminds me of an incident when great Hari Singh Nalwa, he was a kind of there in the Atak Court, surrounded by Afghans, and Atak Court was across the Indus River. And once Indus River was spate, Afghans came and surrounded the fort, and then he called for the relief kind of a thing, that they must come and break their siege. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh had sent his army there, and then the army went there, and they did not cross the Indus River because it was in spate. And when he came to know, he left Lahore, went to the crossing point, sat on his horse, and started charging towards the Indus River. When his army saw that their Maharaja was going inside the river, they also sat on the horses, and they also charged into the river. And believe you me, the Maharajas up and the complete army crossed the river. And that changed the history of India.
So Hadar, from Cavalier, like you can see the great heroism out over there, like the way he had shown the bravery, like
selfless
sacrifice.
He was not doing it for himself.
Yeah.
Right. He was doing for his country. Afghans ruled us. After Mother Ranjit Singh, we ruled Afghanistan.
So it's I think it's a great history behind that.
Absolutely.
Like. And that's the thing which motivates you a lot, like.
And there where it is coming from. That's where it is coming from. That spirit, that belief, that positivity is a must to be a good leader.
I think going through that tough training program, I'm sure like all who were part of that might have got commission.
Yep. When I was all of 20 years when I joined the academy, and when I got selected for the Indian Military Academy, and thereafter I get a call, rather letter from the Indian Army that I have not made it in the merit for the Indian Military Academy, and they gave me a choice. Would you like to join the Officer Training Academy? That time was known as Officer Training School. So I had never even thought of it. Then they say God provides but doesn't deliver. So once God is provided, you have to go and grab it. You can't say, God, please deliver it at my place. I am very busy. It doesn't happen. You have to go out of your comfort zone to grab the opportunity. So I said, fine, I am good. I will join. So what?
Good, great. I think it's an excellent insight to what we are getting from Professor Brigadier GPS Cheema. Though the training was really tough, I think all the relevant aspects are taken into consideration, but many a times the opportunities comes to your way. You should grab those kind of opportunities which are there, and that's the reason he was part of an OTS, and today where we are seeing Professor Brigadier GPS Cheema. It's an excellent journey of 40 years which are going to catch up with him on our next episode of ttalk ek Boond Soch ki. If you like Professor Brigadier GPS Cheema, just go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe and like this channel as much as you can. So thanks a lot for being part of the show. Thank you very much. Thank you.